Hello, I'm Dragoș, and in this video we're going to take a look of some of the ways that you can monitor your servers and your Docker containers. And in here I have written an article with all of these things that we are going to check. Basically, monitoring your servers, it's very important because you would like to see what is the resource utilization on that servers. You want to get notified in case something wrong is happening, and so on. And there are a lot of options when it comes to server monitoring. You can do it directly on the server with commands, and you have various tools that can help you monitor these resources. And I've created an article in here with all of these details. And in this video, we're going to check these tools that can help you monitor your server. I'm using most of the tools to monitor my servers and get notified in case something goes wrong on the server, like CPU it's spiking or memory it's heavily utilized, bandwidth it's used, and so on. And there are like a couple of tools that can help you do that. We're gonna start with some basic ones, and we're going to move to more complex one that can help you monitor more details on your server. And the first tool that you can use to monitor your server, it's called Beszel. And basically this is quite a new tool. It has been developed by a couple of months, and right now it has like 20 releases, and it has the version 0.8. So it's actively worked on, and it's great because it's using the most basic things, and it's lightweight, and it's offering you the possibility to easily monitor your server. So this is the repository, it's open source and can easily be installed, and I have it installed in here to monitor some of the VPS servers that I have. So you see that this is the interface. It's like a basic interface that you are going to use. You are going to create an account after you deploy it, and you are going to add your systems in here. And in here you have the systems. You have some settings that you can change, like language, general options. You can configure notifications that can be received via email or webhook or push notifications. You have the options to export the configuration. You can toggle between light and dark mode. And yeah, this tool, it's quite nice, and it's offering the easiest way to monitor your servers and get notified in case something it's happening. So in here, for instance, you have also logs. You can do backups. You can add the authentication provider. So for instance, in systems in here, if you are going to log into the packet base, basically this is the backend of this thing. You have other customizations options. So let's check also these things. Okay, so this is the interface that it's behind the scene with users. In here you have the alerts that have been sent, and in here you see that I have a couple of alerts that were sent in the past for bandwidth, disk, memory, CPU, and so on. And in here you have the system, you have the threshold and things that you can configure. You have the container stats, system stats that are saved. In system you have other details, you have the user settings in this area. So yeah, basically this is the behind the scene implementation. And in here you have other stats. You have the settings in here to configure an SMTP server, the file storage in case you want to save these details to S3 storage. You can create backups. You have the authentication providers and so on. And in here, for instance, you have the options to create threshold with alarms for everything and set the threshold for everything. You can monitor even the temperature of the sensor in case you have. This is for all the systems. And if you are going to go and check one of these environments, you're going to see that you have the basic CPU usage. You have the Docker containers in here that you can filter by them. So if you type something in here, the deploy, you should be able to filter only on that and see the CPU utilization, you have the memory utilization for the whole server, you have the Docker memory usage, disk usage, and the disk IO bandwidth for this. You have also the swap usage in this area, and you can toggle between different views and change the period. So I have this installed for more than 30 days. So you see in here that I have access to all of these things. And in here you have some details about the server that this is hosting on. So you see in here that it's the Intel Xeon, it's from Hesner. And yeah, this is how Beszel it's working. So basically, to deploy it, I have here a Doge installation. This is my home server that it's installed, and I have a couple of containers in here that are running. And to deploy Beszel, it's very easily. Basically, you have two things that you need to do. First thing is to have the server set up and create a Docker Compose file, and this will fetch the latest image, and it will save the data into a local volume in this case, and in here you can change the port for this, and then you have the server agent. So to deploy this, let me go and deploy this on the home server that I have. So I will hit compose, and this is the object. It's just a Docker Compose UI that will help you faster deploy the Docker things. I've created a video in the past with this. If you want, you can check it. So let's put in here the name of the stack, and this is Beszel. And in here I will just put the Docker Compose file, and for this I will use the 1891 port. Internally it's using the 1890 port, and right now the thing that you need to do is just to hit save, and let's start this and see if it's working. Right now the image, it will be pulled, and it will go and fetch the details. So right now Beszel it's running, and we can go and access this via our direct URL if you are in the local network, or you can configure this with Cloudflare tunnels if you want. You can add the details in here, or any other reverse proxy that you may have. This works with traffic like this. I have it configured on my server, so basically it's using traffic for everything. So let's go and access this directly. Let me fetch the IP of this server like this, and let's see if we are going to put the 1891. It should direct us to the monitoring tool, and in here you will need to create an admin account. In the beginning I will put the Dozzle, I will put the email address, you will set a password, or you can use your GitHub credential by default, but I will create an account. So right now in here I have the account created, and I am in the interface. Right now I don't have anything added in here, and the next thing that we're going to do is to add a system in here, and you can do that with Docker, or you can use the binary. It will provide the public key that you'll need to use. It will provide you the port, the host IP for this. So let's put a name in here, like local server, for instance, and in here I will put the host IP. Let me copy the IP address of this again, and let's hit copy Docker Compose. And we are going to use the Docker Compose to deploy all of these things. Let me copy this. Add system. And right now I will go into Doge and add the agent in here, Beszel agent. let me put the compose file in here, and in here you see that they will send you all the details that are needing, including the key and everything. You have also the options to add other file systems if you have multiple in here. I will let the default one right now for this, and then let's save this. Let me put it like this. Okay, let me start this. Okay, so right now the agent is up and running, and let's see if we have some data in here. I guess it will take a couple of minutes for this to be populated, but after you should see the details in here. So you see that right now I have the local server that it's up and running and it's monitored. And in here, for instance, if we're going to go and check it, you will see the graphs and the details. This is an Intel with N95 and using the Ubuntu. And right now the metrics are starting to be collected. So you see in here that you have the details that are starting to be fetched, and memory usage, disk usage for the disk that you have added, disk IO, network, and temperature. So by default you see that it has read my temperature for the home server that I have. I didn't need to do anything. Right now the temperature of this, it's also monitored. And then again, you can go and configure some of the things in here. You can change the aspect of this. You can then go and set up the alarms for this with memory usage and everything. Again, you will need to go into the background of this and set the SMTP credential and everything, so you can get notified via email. You can use webhooks and other things. So yeah, Beszel, it's a very nice tool from my point of view. I have started using it for more than 1 month on my server because it's offering the basic things in terms of monitoring that I need, and I can easily add as many servers as I want in here, and they will be monitored and I will get notified in case something wrong it's happening. So you can also deploy this with the help of agents. You are not limited to using Docker and Docker Compose files. So yeah, this is a pretty nice tool that will help you monitor your servers easily. Okay, so yeah, this is Beszel. Give it a try, it's easy to install. Also, in case you have questions, you can let the question into the description of this video. And let's see what is the second one in here. And Netdata, it's another one that it's used. So basically I'm using Netdata before the Beszel one. I have like years of using the Netdata. I'm using the cloud version of this that will help you monitor 5 nodes for free. Of course, you have some basic metrics in here with basic notifications for this, but this is a very complex tool and it's very easy to be configured. You just create an account to the Netdata console and then you add your nodes. So in here you see that I have the Netdata cloud, and again I am using this since it was released. I think it's, I don't know, a couple of years back. And in here you have the nodes. So you see that I have also 3 servers in here that are configured. This is more complex one. You can create rooms with alerts and things like that. This is like for a full flag production environment. But in here, for instance, I have the same server monitor, the Dozzle home one. And if you are going to click this one, you're going to be sent to an interface, and this is interface, it can be quite overwhelming. In beginning you have a lot of stats in here that will be monitored. From the disk reads, these writes, you have the CPU usage, network and things like that, and you have even more granularity in what is happening with your server. You have a lot of stats with everything, and in the right side in here you have the navigation, so you can go and check directly the things that you are interested on. And yeah, you see in here, for instance, the memory, you can check it, you have more details, you have a lot of graphs. With this you have the granularity to check everything in detail. Swap again, same. You have also for the network. So yeah, this it's having a lot of data that it's pulled, and it's using their cloud to fetch and aggregate all of this data. You are just adding your agent. This Netdata tool, it's quite easy to install. If you're using the cloud version, you just add a node and then choose the option. You can install the agent if you want in there, or you can use the Docker with Docker Compose files. And besides this, for instance, you have some applications. So in here you have like processes that you can see directly, so you don't need to go into the server. So for instance, in here you have the applications that are running and what they are using. You see you have the memory node, it's using the biggest number of memory. I have Olama installed in here. Netdata also, it's using memory, and so on. So yeah, you have more details. Again, in here you have also the Docker things. So you have containers in here and VMs that you are going to see. So you see in here that I have the containers right now. Beszel is also installed, and you see that the utilization is not that big. You have the dimensions with Jellyfin, Netdata, and RAM that it's used by everyone, and so on. So you have a lot of details that are sent to Netdata, and you have even bigger flexibility in checking what is happening. And in here, for instance, you have also Docker for this, and again you have the images with total image size. In here you have the summary, and you have other metrics that you can also check for the Docker images. And yeah, you can configure like Redis if you want applications, can monitor databases and so on. But yeah, Netdata, it's more let's say a complete tool that it's offering a lot of metrics, and this is suitable for someone that it's using production installation with a lot of users that are connecting to these servers, to be easily monitored and have all the details that you need in this UI interface. Especially if you are not like an OS administrator, it will be easier for you to just go in here and browse the graphs and the details in here, and maybe you can have a more good overview of what is happening. And yeah, this is free to use. You can give it a try and see how it's working. And the other tool that you can use to monitor, this is mostly for the Docker containers that are in there, it's Dozzle. So basically Dozzle, it's an image that will help you monitor the Docker containers, and I have it already installed on my home server. So basically this is the interface. Right now it's accessible with these links, and in here you see that you can have the host, you can configure multiple hosts, you can add authentications, you have the Docker version in here, you have the details about the host for CPU and 60 gigabytes of RAM. In here you have the CPU utilization, you have the memory for everything, and below you have also the containers and what they are using. So for every container, for instance, you have the average CPU and average memory consumption. So this is offering an overview on a container level. Again, in here, for instance, you have also the logs for these containers, and you see that in here you can easily access the logs, and you can check fast what are the logs for these containers. So for instance, if you're going to check the Dozzle, you see in here it's using like 40 megabytes of memory with very low CPU. Again, if we're going to check Netdata, for instance, in here you'll see that it's using the 200 megabytes of memory. You have a bigger CPU spike because this is sending a lot of data to the Netdata servers. and so on. So yeah, this is the Dozzle. It's easy to use. Again, you can check the version in here. You have the notification in settings. You have some options to customize some of the look of this. You have the search option in case you have a lot of containers. So basically this is a very nice applications to get even more details on your Docker containers, and it's lightweight and it can be used with the other tools to easily see what is happening with your Docker containers, and just go and see what it's in the logs. And the last tool that you can use, it's the Prometheus with Grafana. So basically Prometheus and Grafana, it's an enterprise tool. It's open source and it requires some knowledge in configuring it. So Prometheus will collect the data from your server and it will send it to Grafana that will help you create some dashboard. This is an example dashboard from the internet, and in here you have the options to customize exactly what you want, and you can configure the dashboard as you like. But again, this is more for advanced user and for advanced applications, and you can deploy this with Docker if you want. Maybe I'll create a video in the future of how you can deploy this, but if you want something that it's more complex and will help you customize everything, you can take a look and check this Prometheus and Grafana option and see how you can deploy it and create some custom things for your monitoring server. So yeah, basically this is how you can easily monitor an VPS server or a home lab server. In case you have questions, please drop a comment into the video, and I'll let some other videos at the end with some of the videos that I've made with deploying container applications and configure traffic and installing Doge. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video helped you understand how you can easily monitor your servers, and see you in the next video.